Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we went to Amsterdam Schiphol International Airport. We flew out with EasyJet and we did some plane spotting for the day. We were up on the panorama terrace for most of the day before heading through security. This will be part 1 of a 3 video series, which will be 2 spotting videos and the flight back. So I do not have footage of the flight out as it was accidentally deleted or the videos became corrupted. That said, let's get into the video. No. Before we get into the video, all of these shots were taken on my brand new Canon SX40 camera, which is currently covered in dust. Need to clean that off. That said, let's get into the video. Alright, to start off today's video, we've got some pictures from at London Gatwick, which have got a beautiful A320 which was taxiing past. These were taken whilst we were waiting for our flight to board. We've got a beautiful A321 on the runway waiting to take off. Got looks like a 320 coming off the runway and taxiing down to parking. There's a nice TUI in the background. Sorry about the blur. This was my first time properly using my new camera. Beautiful A319 taking off. And this video is mostly pictures. Here we have a China Southern, I believe it was China Southern A330. Here we have a Wizz Air A321neo taxiing to take off on runway 26 left. And then it came time to board our flight, which our flight out was a A320neo with a registration Golf Dash Echo Zulu Charlie Victor. And here's some shots from after we landed, which we parked up next to beautiful A340, which you will see in a second. Which is a A340, which was being used as a freighter aircraft, which was a retired passenger aircraft. Here we have a beautiful United 767. These shots were taken as we were walking to head through passport control. Here's me stood in front of what looks to be a RB211. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that. And we got to the panorama terrace, which is a beautiful KLM 737 right there. A Europa 787. Beautiful British Airways A319, which was landing. And we had a city flyer come in, E195. As I said before, sorry about the haze. There was a haze over the runway. Here we have a Delta A330 taxiing into the gates. Here we have a Georgian Boeing 737 taxiing out to the runway. And here we have an ITA A220 landing. Next up we had a KLM E170 coming in. Here we have a Fly Pegasus A321, which is taxiing into the gate. And then we had a beautiful Boeing 787 with KLM landing at the airport. And we had a nice looking KLM Asia Boeing 777-300 being towed past us to the gates. Which had a Delta 7 A330 taxiing past. And here we have a beautiful Singapore Airlines A350. And got to watch this KLM 737 pushing back, which got some nice close-up shots of the flight deck. And then here's the Fly Pegasus heading out after loading up. Oh no, it was just going into the gate still. As you can see it here parking up. And we had another ITA 737, A320 come in to land. Got some shots of it behind another Delta aircraft. Here we have a Lufthansa A321 and an Air Malta A320. Up on the panorama terrace there is this Fokker 100 aircraft which is retired, which you can go and have a look inside of. Which, here's some pictures of the flight deck, and I also got some pictures of the outside of it. This aircraft was put up there by KLM after it retired. The registration is Papa Hotel - Oscar Foxtrot Echo. Here we have a Vistar jet. I cannot remember the aircraft type. I believe it was a Bombardier Global. And then next up we have, I cannot tell the airline through these pictures, but it looks like an A321 coming in. And then we had a World 2 Fly A350 taxiing into the gates, which landed on a runway which we could not see. Here we have a Iberia Express A321 and had another KLM 777-300 towed past us. Next up we have a beautiful TUI 737 parked up at the gates, and next up we have a Eastern Airways E170 taxiing past. Here we have a KLM jet pushing back. Next up, a KLM City Hopper landing. I believe this was an E190. And we had a TUI 737 taxi pass. Next up, the registration Papa Hotel - Tango Foxtrot Golf. And here we have a beautiful KLM 787 taxiing into the gates. Next up we have a Qatar Cargo 777 freighter landing. It's an absolute beautiful aircraft. Next up we had KLM's Sky Team livery, E170 coming into land, which we did get some nice shots of this aircraft taxiing past us. Next up we have an Emirates 777 landing on the runway behind us. After this we had a beautiful Finnair A321 with the registration Oscar Hotel Lima Zulu Echo taxi past, which was an A321. Next up we had a KLM Boeing 737 coming into land. Then we walked over to the other side of the terrace, where we spotted this Saudi cargo 747-800 freighter. Then we had a nice KLM 737 parked in front of us, and a nice Iceland Air 737, Reg Tango Foxtrot India Charlie Charlie. Here we have a beautiful Air France A320, which we see pushed back later. Next up we had a beautiful KLM E170 coming into land. Next up, after this, we have my favourite aircraft coming in, the Airbus A380 with Emirates, which was a beautiful aircraft to see come into land. I always love seeing the A380s land. Wish I'd got a video instead of just pictures of it landing. Here we have a lineup of airlines, which got 2 Deltas, a KLM, and the World to Fly A350. Next up we have a beautiful E170 of KLM being towed. Then we spotted this KLM 777 under tow, waiting. Next up an LOT E170. Next up, KLM 787 being towed into the gate, which we have a video for you right here.
We've got an engine spin going on before. But yeah, just it being towed to the
Next up we have a beautiful Aegean A320 taxiing past on its way to Athens, Greece. We spotted a DHL Boeing 767 over in the cargo area. And next up we have a Vueling A320.
He didn't even wait to get home before he put the power down. It's not tight. Tie's purple. Yellow swells.
Next up we had the LOT E170 taxi past with the registration Sierra Papa Lima India Lima. Next up we have a TAP Air Portugal A321 taxiing past. Then we have beautiful by this Aer Lingus A320 coming in from Dublin.
What do you know? I was talking earlier about Irish Airlines.
Next up we have beautiful landing by this Transavia A320. Next up we had another TAP Air Portugal A321 taxi past. Then we had a Air China Cargo A330 freighter taxi past. Next up we got to watch this beautiful KLM 737 being pushed back with registration Papa Hotel - Bravo X-Ray Delta. Next up we see the China Cargo Airbus A330 taking off
straight out.
the registration Bravo-6093.
That's gonna be a loud one when it goes up.
Next up we have the takeoff of the 737 we watched push back.
I like this citation. Brilliant. I think it's the citation next though. Brilliant, yeah. But I can't fly. Got a fight to do with the pay this time, don't we? We had to wait so long because the cargo app was waiting.
Next up we have a beautiful KLM city number E175 taking off the registration Papa Hotel - Echo X-Ray X-Ray.
Hello. Maybe it's some kind.
Next up we have the local air ambulance, H145, and just after that we've got this Boeing 747-400 freighter with Atlas Air landing. Next up we got this KLM City Hopper E190 taking off with registration Papa Hotel - Echo Zulu November.
Yeah, good.
Next up we saw this beautiful Lufthansa Airbus A320 landing. And we spotted this beautiful Pilatus PC-12 taxiing over from the private aircraft area. Before we got this takeoff Boeing 737 registration Papa Hotel - Bravo X-Ray Sierra.
Factory-produced aircraft. Of course, you're...
Yeah, it's of NGX. Yeah, it's not giving a rating. I'm trying to look to see if I could work out to see the what was displaying that red tail, but I'd be better off waiting till we get home and looking on the iPad. It would be a bigger.
Next up we had this Sky Airlines Airbus A320 coming into land. The photos are hazy. Next up we have the takeoff of this KLM Boeing 777-300 with registration Papa Hotel - Bravo Victor Kilo.
Triple's going. You're rolling. The brakes off. Why is there a puff of smoke over there?
Sky Express from Athens.
There was a smoke cloud over there. Could be APU.
Next up we got this German Airways E170 taxiing past.
Come on, full throttle. Legit.
Oh yeah, it's love to see great.
Yeah.
There's another one we can go for.
Grab the jet.
Next up we caught this Cathay Pacific Airbus A350-900 taxiing past. Then we caught this Air France A320 pushing back, which I have a video of.
Oh, fucking up. He's having a lot of trouble with that.
Atlas Air is coming across, it's coming across that runway. So then
Yeah, Julian, that's
shot.
Yeah. No, it was much bigger. Also, there's that.
Half that is Spurs.
It's gone. It was there and it's gone.
Next up we have the Pilatus PC-12 taking off with the registration Delta - Foxtrot Echo Lima.
Julian, Pilatus. But I can feel Pilatus over that.
Next up we got this Airways Cessna Citation CJ2 Plus with the registration Delta-India Foxtrot India Sierra. Then we caught the Airbus A320 with Air France taxiing out to runway. Registration Foxtrot-Golf Kilo X-Ray Papa.
They all will have that.
Look at that one,
Yeah.
under the ring. Look at the one behind it, under the ring.
Next up we caught this Falcon 900 LX taxiing off the runway.
Cafes
Next
just going
up we
straight.
caught the departure of this
As
Cathay
opposed to
Pacific
what? Going sideways?
A350.
No, straight out. As opposed to what? Shush.
Next up we caught the landing of this Qatar Boeing 777. Should we have a video of the landing here?
Tall W coming in after that. TAWW.
Next up we have the takeoff of the Airways Cessna Citation CJ2 Plus.
Quite a queue lined up. And already have one.
Next up we had this Eastern Airways E190 taxi past. Then we had this EasyJet A321 landing from London Luton International Airport. Then we had this 737 with TUI with registration Golf-Tango Alpha Whiskey Whiskey Land. Then we got the takeoff of the Air France A320.
Chewy coming in, an EasyJet, and then that one.
What's that? Behind you.
Here we have pictures of the TUI 737 taxiing into the gates. Next up we caught this Air France A321 landing. Next up we have this beautiful Air France A320 landing, which I believe in the next video we'll see a video of it parking up. And we saw this
I wonder where the Chewy train's going
China
to.
Southern 777 freighter coming into land. My camera ran out of battery before we could see the touchdown. And here we have the 2737 parking up right in front of us.
Cargo, which comes from Bay. Sorry, Bombay.
Turkish Airlines Airbus A330 coming into land. And thank you for watching today's video. Remember to like and subscribe. Go check out both my TikToks and my Discord server, which are all linked down below, as well as my Twitch. Stick around for part 2, which will be more plane spotting. And keep an eye out for the video of our flight back home to London Gatwick. Thank you for watching. I'll leave you here with this landing.